Are you one of the millions of Americans who wishes that they could retire early, who goes to their job day in, day out, and wishes they can get out of that rat race and have to work to 65 just to receive a little bit of a pension or retirement from Social Security? I know that's where we were just a few years ago. But things changed dramatically after we read a book by our rich dad, Robert Kiyosaki, which was called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Today, we're going to share lessons that we learned to help us attain financial freedom. And hopefully these lessons can help you to attain that goal of retiring early sooner. I'm Roddy, this is my wife Landy, and with our son Louis, we moved to Querétaro, Mexico in 2021 after retiring early through real estate. Let's get started. Probably one of the biggest lessons from Rich Dad, Poor Dad is you have to change your mindset and change your mind. Now, you do this by increasing your financial literacy. And by changing your financial literacy, you can learn how to expand your mind and make more money. One of the first things you need to understand is the difference between an asset and a liability, right?
What's the difference?
So, good question. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. Now, one of the big differences between the rich and the poor, according to Kiyosaki, is that the rich buy assets that put money in their pocket. The poor and middle class buy liabilities they think are assets. That's a big key difference you need to understand.
So, for example, what about our home, or we buy a car?
Right. And I think that's one of the most probably maybe controversial ideas that Kiyosaki has. He says, your home that you bought is your biggest liability, not your biggest asset. And I know a lot of people are going to say, wait a minute. Everybody always tells me my house is my biggest asset. But if you think about it, does that put money into your pocket or out of your pocket every month? Every month, you got to pay your mortgage, your liability insurance, your taxes. So again, taking money out of your pocket every single month. Now, I think where some people get confused is that they think of it as an asset because it may become an asset the day you sell your property, right? Because then puts money into your pocket. But until then, it is your biggest liability.
Right. And also the car, because the value keeps dropping.
Right. Things like cars. People buy cars and they think, oh, look what I got. I drive a Mercedes, a BMW, or they buy that big 65-inch TV, and they think these are things that kind of show their wealth. But in reality, these things are decreasing in value every single day, day in, day out, right? And they're taking money out of your pocket. So, or even things like your phone, right? You think you get the latest iPhone, the latest Samsung. Again, this is a great phone. It takes money out of your pocket as one big purchase, or you're paying for it every single month. Again, another big liability.
When most people want to get rich, want to have more life freedom, what they do is they go out to look for more jobs. Or they ask their boss to ask for a raise.
Yeah.
But are those the only ways to get rich?
So really, one of the best ways to get rich is to buy assets. And assets are going to bring money in every single month, right? What we call cash flow, which is the amount of money that comes in after you pay your expenses. Again, that's the best way to become rich. Or really, it's actually what we would say the best way to become wealthy, right? Because wealth is how much or how long you can live if you were to stop working today. Can you still get money coming in every single month if you were to stop working? Right. So again, that's a key idea you need to remember.
Let's say cash flow, passive income is the way we should do.
Right. And again, this is done by buying assets.
Like if you go to work, what about one day you get sick, you couldn't work anymore?
Right.
Where you just get poor?
Right. No, so again, here you need to buy assets, right? And assets such as income generating real estate, stocks or bonds that give you dividends, notes, which are IOUs, or even through intellectual property, right? Like patents or music, things that can pay you every time that they're used, right? These are what you need to focus on.
Another big lesson we learned from the book is it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. We see so many people make great money every month, but in the end, they have nothing saved. They just spend them all.
Yeah, usually on a bunch of liabilities, right? On their car, on their house, on their TV, on their credit cards for going out to eat and buying clothing.
Awesome vacations all the time.
Right.
So how much money we should at least save every month?
I think one of the keys that Kiyosaki talks about is you should pay yourself first, right? And you should try to pay yourself, roughly about 10% of what you make. Again, that's a good safe number. And again, if you can't, don't be discouraged. Save what you can to pay yourself first.
Right, and nowadays it's so easy. You can set up an auto pay, have a saving account, put 10%, to the saving account first, then start your months.
Right. And so why are we saving the money for? What's the ultimate goal here of saving the money?
Yeah, I think a big thing, of course, you need to save at least 6 months for any family emergency money.
Right, little cushion money.
Cushion money, 6 months. So, and you need to have a saving account for investment.
Right.
Like we also have another one for travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't want to pay first and then pay to the credit cards. So have that money on the side first.
Right. So you can pay yourself first. Put money aside, have a little emergency money, have a little money for investments, right? And then pay yourself, and then pay everything else afterwards. But pay yourself first.
When we grow up, our parents always teach us, save money, right? Put in the bank account.
Right.
But nowadays, those interest rate is super low. It couldn't make even to the inflation.
Right.
So you are losing the value of the money.
Right. I know Kiyosaki, another thing he says is that savers are losers. And again, I think not so much that they're losers, but that they're losing the value of their money. Right. Again, today, like you mentioned, a lot of these savings accounts, maybe 1% if you're lucky, but especially today, what's the rate of inflation? So if you leave your money in the savings account, it's literally losing value every single day.
Yeah, since school never taught us about the money, right?
Yeah.
And the parents gave us a little bit information, probably some are even false information.
Right. So now that you've saved a little bit of money, you've increased your financial IQ, again, now it's time to buy your assets, right? And then once you buy your assets, again, you can start making money while you sleep. Again, this is a very important concept and an idea that most people could appreciate, because who wouldn't want to make money while you're sleeping?
Right. They always say, make money when you sleep. Don't work for money, but make the money work for you.
Right. Again, so you can call it money while you're sleeping, mailbox money, whatever it is. All you know is at the beginning of the month, every quarter, you know you can guarantee that money coming in and able to enjoy it as you will. Another 2 words you need to learn are debt and leverage. Now, I think traditionally when we think about debt, we think of it as a negative term, right?
Right. Like you don't owe other people money.
Right. And so when you think about debt, a lot of times it's things like using a credit card. And I think this is a big thing that most people do. They spend things frivolously, right? They buy clothes and electronics, or maybe even they put their vacation on a credit card. And again, in the long run, they're paying 20% interest on their credit card and all their nice things that they have to appear comfortable and rich.
Right, to impress the people you don't even like.
Yeah. But you need to learn to use debt as a good debt, right? So what exactly does that mean? So if you use debt to buy yourself an asset, then that becomes a good debt, right? An easy example of this would be if you take out a loan to buy a rental property, right? So you go to the bank, you take out a loan, buy a rental property, and that property brings you in $200, $300, $400 a month, right? Now that becomes a good debt because you're using someone else's money to give you money, again, while you sleep.
Right, and then the house in 5-10 years appreciates a lot. You can refinance or you can even sell it if you want.
Right, so you use the leverage of other people's money, right, to make yourself money and buy an asset that is increasing in value year by year.
Right. If you want to retire early, please remember, don't work for the paychecks.
Yeah, I think one of the things you need to learn is you need to work to learn, right? So as you work and have a job, you need to constantly be increasing your knowledge of whatever area you want to be in. I know for us personally, when we got into real estate, we dove deep into reading, audiobooks, going to real estate investor meetings, talking to investors, so many things we did to really understand the whole process and idea of real estate investing. And it's always a good idea, like Kiyosaki says, to learn a little bit about a lot of different areas, right? So at least you have some understanding of what's happening in each area of whatever you decide to do.
Yeah, so paychecks only make you rich. If you want to get to the financial freedom, have the mindset, don't work for those paychecks.
Another key concept from Kiyosaki is fear management. Now, what exactly does that mean?
Yeah, they're afraid of losing money, make the wrong decision. You have the fear because you don't have enough knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think sometimes when people even get a little bit of knowledge, one key term that people use sometimes is analysis paralysis. They get so deep into the numbers that no deal is ever perfect for them. But here's a lesson. No deal will ever be that perfect, and you'll never learn unless you do it. So sometimes you just got to take that leap of faith and get started. Get over that fear.
Mm-hmm. So what about the tax? People always complain those riches, they don't pay tax or pay so less tax.
Yeah, and that's true. And you really can't be upset at businesses or people for taking advantages of the tax law. It's there, and guess what? It's there for everybody, yourself included, right? You just have to learn a little bit about taxes and how they work. One of the things that most people don't understand is that employees, right, just your run-of-the-mill employee, teachers, doctors, lawyers, they pay the most taxes, right? And the reason that is because most people earn, then they pay their tax, and then they spend, right? Mm-hmm. The wealthy, what they do, usually with a corporation, is they earn, then they spend, and then they pay tax on what's left over, right? So they know how to write off all the different things, right, to make their earnings seamless. And because they earn less on paper, they pay less tax. And again, that is just an advantage to anybody who owns a business, right, or is into investing. It's something that anybody can do if they learn a little bit about the tax laws.
Another big lesson we learned is called mind your own business. Like, for example, Robert Kiyosaki asked a person work for the bank. He said, what do you do? And he said, I'm a banker. So he asked, so you own the bank? And he said, no, I work for the bank. So you are an employee, right? So it's generally just saying, if you are working for someone else, you are working so hard for building up someone else's business.
These are our most important lessons we learned from our rich dad, poor dad, Robert Kiyosaki. So let us know what you think in the comments. Do you agree, disagree? What have you thought about this video? We'd love to hear your comments.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Bye.